Hey guys, welcome to Seer Generation. My name is Manny, and on today's segment on Topic, I want to share with you one of the ways that people end up building wealth, or how you yourself can build wealth, and that is focusing on passive income. I feel like these are things that us as Hispanics aren't really thinking about, and my hope is that this video gets you thinking a little bit more about these things, gets you thinking outside of the 9-to-5 job, and that we start as a community, as a people, to move forward and to really build on our knowledge. Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's what's lacking in our community. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is that about a few weeks ago, I had a conversation with our accountant regarding our real estate investment and some of the strategies that we would need to consider in order to minimize our tax liability. And I figured that it would be beneficial to share this, not necessarily my experience, but more the ins and outs of the advantages of having passive income versus earned income, which would translate into like a W-2. So I'm gonna switch my screen now and kind of walk you through some ideas, and I'm hoping that it will definitely open your eyes a little bit, and hopefully you'll consider exploring passive income as a strategy for you. So let's get started here. Okay, so let me see if I can do a good job here. So let's look at W-2 income. And these are the taxes at the end of the road here that you're gonna have to pay. So this is the government smiling, and they're saying, let me see, will the hand? No, the hand will be flipped the other way. So this is the government here saying, hey, we need your money. Pay for roads and all that stuff. Okay, so let's say you're earning 100,000, just to make the math simple, right? And let's say you are in an income bracket where you're taxed 20%, 20% total, right? So right now, your liability is 20%. So 20,000 right now is going to the government, and there are a few deductions that you can take, and let's say that brings it down to let's say that subtracts 5,000, right? Deductions like dependents and things like that. So your liability right now for tax is about 15,000. So that is what you, at the end of the day, hand over to the government. Okay, so that's fairly simple. I think most people are familiar with this, right? If you're working a regular job. Okay, so now let's look at passive income. Okay. Now, in this case, I'm going to be talking to you about real estate because that's what I know, that's what I'm familiar with. And let's say we're earning the same amount, $100,000. So here we go again, you're on the same road. Here are taxes, and here's the government saying, hey, gonna need that money. We gotta pay for the roads, and all that good stuff. Okay? So let's say you're getting taxed the same amount, 20%. Okay. So right off the bat, one of the things that helps you with passive income from real estate is your depreciation schedule. So what this is saying is basically is that over time, your property is going to require maintenance, work. Over time, quote unquote, it'll be worth less because all of these material things over time are gonna depreciate, they're gonna go down in value, they're gonna break, etc. So the government gives you just about, let's say 3.7% off of whatever the price or the value of the property is. So to not make the math too complicated, let's say that this 3.7% depreciation that I'm getting for my property equals 10,000. And that's a property that might be worth, let me think about this here, probably like maybe 500K. It's worth like 350 maybe. So anyways, from that 3.7%, right, I'm already getting, from the liability right now is 20, right? And let's say my depreciation schedule is a 3.7, and that allows me to deduct right off the bat 10,000, right? So my liabilities right now going to the government is about 10,000, right? So the cool thing about this is that the difference between these two, right, is that the government in this case takes their money before it hits your hand. So it goes from, it doesn't even hit your bank actually, if I'm thinking about it. Your company is gonna pay you, so this is your company. The money will first travel through and hit the government, and then whatever's left over, right, gets deposited into your bank. And that includes things like, Social Security, Medicare, etc. Now, when you're earning passive income, this side here, you're not really liable for that. For Social Security, that doesn't come into play. Medicare either, right? So those are things that you're not liable for when you're earning passive income, which is this here, right? So right off the bat, you're kind of ahead of the game. But the cool thing about earning passive income is that you have a say, or you can build strategies before this money gets to the government. Because when you're earning passive income, the government doesn't get their cut until you've had all your expenses. So with this 10 grand, right, there are many things that I can take into consideration here that can benefit me as a property owner. I can do improvements in my property, which could potentially earn me more money. Other things that we ourselves might be considering in the future is buying some assets that will deduce this amount. So let's say, for example, we buy a company car, right? In the name of our LLC. Then that also can reduce that. And let's say 1 year our liability is $10,000, we can buy a, let's say, $15,000 car in the name of the company, and now the money that the government would get would be zero. And we'd get not only the 10,000, but also a credit for the next year. And it's not gonna necessarily be 10,000. It's a portion of what you spend that gets added. But I'm just focused more on the idea, not the actual numbers. And again, I'm not an accountant or anything like that. These are just things that I have learned and we're considering doing ourselves. Another thing that could potentially reduce that income is that you set up a trust for your child. And in doing so, you take some of this passive income and you flow it to them. So now the money that would be going to the government would go to your kids for their college, for example. So there are a ton of different strategies, and none of this is illegal. This is all legal stuff, because at the end of the day, what a tax break is very simple. These are incentives that the government wants you to do, things that the country needs, that the government is willing to cut you a break in order to incentivize you to do these things. So it's very possible that out of this $100,000, you end up paying zero in taxes. And this is something that took me a while to learn and figure out, but I think that we can all say that we all want to pay less in taxes at the end of the day, especially if you're investing in things that will help you and your family in the long term. And I don't think I would knock anybody for paying less in taxes, because if you ask me, hey, do you want to pay less in taxes? Yeah, I want to pay less in taxes. It's that saying where they say it's not about how much you earn, it's about how much you end up keeping. So I just hope that this little illustration, this time that I spent on showing you a little bit about the differences between earned income and passive income, helps you to build wealth. I think that this is information that's not readily accessible still today with the internet. So I hope, again, that this helps you. If you think this is good information, I would encourage you to share it. Share it with somebody that you think may find this useful. Maybe they're not thinking about this, but one thing that I can definitely guarantee you is that most people that are wealthy in some way, shape, or form are having their money work for them. They're generating passive income, and a good percentage of them are doing it through real estate. So that's it, man. I hope that this helps you, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye.